What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be reviewing the Boel iTap X. The people at Boel said they'd send me one if I gave it a review, so I figured I'd give it a shot because free stuff is good. What is the iTap X? Well, it's a counter pressure bottle filler. I don't know why I'm holding it. It is behind the box, but it's a counter pressure bottle filler. And originally I thought I might not get too much use out of it, but then I realized it is always good to take bottles places. So why not? And a counter pressure bottle filler will give you less oxygen in your beer because it allows you to purge the bottle first, as well as package it under higher pressure, less foam, blah, blah, blah. It comes out with less oxygen in it. So might as well get right into the unboxing. I've already taken the packaging out of it, but we have instructions. Wow. It has a clamp lock for locking the bottle in place as your main body. Basically, the clamp lock goes onto the main body. It will clamp. Moving along, you have the 5/8" beer shank. If you have a quick notice of it with the screw on there, and if you actually, once you actually put the beer line on, which will go on the end there, it is not overly long, so this will only fit through probably the width of a 2x4 or something like that. You have an extra gasket there, and there are two of these. One of them's I already have hooked up to the airline, and I also have the beer line piece hooked on, so I can do it quickly and not take too much time doing this. The plastic feels pretty, it is mostly plastic. This I believe is just a chromed plastic kind of thing, but it does feel real solid. The plastic feels good. Buttons have good motion to them. Doesn't seem to be any dragging or anything, and all the pieces have a smooth fit. The only one that's a little bit loose here is just with this piece here when it locks on. Might be easy to knock it kind of off, but it is still good there, and by it coming off easy, it means it's easier to clean, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. So let's get into the setup of it. So if you've ever set up a tap before, it's going to be pretty straightforward. First thing you're going to do is throw the shank on the tap. Just makes it easier instead of screwing the tap on after the fact, especially where this one's a little bigger. But I'm just going to grab a wrench and just give this a little bit of a turn here. There is little cutouts here for your wrench, so it makes it a little bit easier. Get it on there, and not even a quarter turn. I'm just going to give that 1/8 of a turn. From there, you're just going to be putting the shank through your wall or fridge or whatever you got there, and I'm going to hand tight this. It seems to be pretty solid for what I'm doing. I am putting it on a board that's in the middle of a room, so it's probably not going to stay here. So when you're putting the clamp on, I'm going to set it up so the clamp's kind of at the back, which leaves obviously the entrance for the bottle in there. And if you want to have a look, it's basically goes forward, clamps on, and your bottle's good. But I will take that off for now as I finish the setup. So next thing you do is you have this little valve here. With the one I had already set up for the air. As you can see, I just used kind of heated it up with some Duo-Tight hose. It's meant for the main hose, so if you want to have it set up a little more permanently, I'd definitely recommend getting the braided line and having a clamp on this. But for now, this will click into there nicely. If you notice, it is a little tight to the wall, so if you have the setup, I definitely recommend drilling a hole through it and putting the hose coming in from behind. It'll just make it a nice cleaner setup. Otherwise, you might want to get a little 90-degree fitting, so then this hose doesn't have to bend as much, and it'd probably be a little harder with the braided line. And this other one is just a purge line, so you can put that in there. You could put some sort of if you wanted to, you could probably drill a hole through that and have the purge going into a little can or something in the fridge, so that if when it's purging foam, it's not gonna go all over the place. But for now, I'm just gonna let it go all over the place. Okay, let's see how she goes. Okay, I'm coming to you a little bit after the fact. One thing I noticed in the video was that I was kind of handling it like this when I was putting the bottles on, but that is mostly because I have this portable glory hole thing here that I'm using, and it wasn't attached to the table, so I wanted to see how this thing works if you're just using the handle and it is attached to something firm. So without further ado, we got the bottle. See, the bottle goes in. That should be able to fill it, and out. In, there, out. No worries on that thing there. So it does work if you're actually using it using it proper and not doing this weird hold on to it while you turn it thing that I was doing before when this wasn't attached, when this thing wasn't mounted to the table. So yeah, does its thing. Bottle clamps into place. Give it a little pressure. With this butterfly valve here, you can adjust how much pressure goes into it, and then you can turn it to purge. So that gives it some pressure, and let's see how this tap works. Beer is going in the bottle. Looks to be not too foamy. It's going in there nice. Here's the part where the foam gets to the top. And you see it's coming out the line there, but you would have a cup or something hooked up. And then we can turn off the tap and we have the bottle. And then we have a bottle of beer to take to a party. Okay, so overall we got a bottle of beer bottled. This was a hazy IPA from Brew HQ kit that I made a while back. And it bottled really well. I really liked how easy it was to purge the bottles once you have this thing set up, which was really easy for the setup. It filled the bottle nicely. I was kind of expecting where it doesn't have a kind of fill hose coming down. I was kind of expecting it to be a little messier or a little foamier, but when the beer came down, it kind of cascaded around the edge and filled up nicely with minimal head there. From what I can tell on this beer here, it's actually a little bit overcarbonated. So for an overcarbonated beer, it is doing really well. The only thing I found with it is that this bottle worked great. This other one I had from a different beer, I forget what kind of beer it was I drank, or it might have even been a cider, but this one has a little bit longer of a flare on it, and this one was harder to jam in there, but this one worked fine. And if you haven't done it already, or you haven't done it already because you're watching this as a review, but if you look here, these little tabs here come out. So when you take them out and flip around, they'll be better for regular one where the flare is a little bit closer to the top. These pieces do flip around so that you can use those types of bottles if you don't want to buy the homebrew bottles. But yeah, overall I have nothing. If you're in the market for a counter pressure bottle filler, I definitely recommend this one. They clamp in nicely, works really easily, and it pours really well. The only thing I did wrong was I should have put the hose there with the catch basin there. It did drip a bit, but that wasn't an issue at all, especially since this is just a temporary setup. But yeah, you just want to use that hose on the back there for any of the foam as it's purging off when it's filling under pressure. But yeah, this worked great. I'd be happy to buy this if I was in the market for it. If I used bottles a little more often, I'd definitely pick one up, but that's up to you. If you need a counter pressure bottle filler that's easy for the homebrew setup, you already got a kegerator. This one's great for throwing into your setup, and with a little bit of workmanship, you could set it up with the Duo-Tight quick fitting, so you could switch around your beer kegs easier to have your different types on tap. But yeah, if you're doing bottles, this is a real quick way. If I had this set up permanently, anytime I went to a party and had the kegs on, I would definitely just fill up bottles real quick. You can get some attachments for it. There is a growler filler attachment and a swing top attachment. But again, if you're using always swing top, this thing would be a great setup with a swing top attachment. So yeah, that was a semi-sponsored video. Didn't make any money, but they sent me the product for free. Again, if you like other videos, none of the rest are sponsored, so check some of these out. I guess they're somewhere on there. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos that pop up, or if you're watching the videos anyway, don't subscribe. They may pop up on your feed anyway, because YouTube magic. Either way, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon. We'll not talk to you soon. We will see you soon. Bye. Won't really see you either, because I'm here, you're there.